Boston and Vancouver for the first time between these two teams. Boston the victory at Toronto on Saturday. Vancouver back-to-back 5-1 losses on the road to Ottawa and then New York in their last game on Saturday. So they try to right this road trip and get a victory. One note for Vancouver to start. Important to note, Sarah Nurse, who has missed the last two games, once again is out today, did not make the trip. We'll get more of an idea of her timetable when Vancouver gets back home after this game today, but an upper body injury was the report that we got from downstairs. So Miller and Brandt, and we are off here from Agganis Arena. Boston 2-0 on the young season. 6 points is a three-way tie for first in the early going. One of those other teams, New York, is in action coming up right after us on the road against Seattle. Here comes Jill Saunier trying to create against Miller. There's Claire Thompson back there momentarily. On for the rookie Bregman. Plays it over. And playing a backhand in, spinning in. Is immediately onto the ice. Is Hartmetz, who's important to have her back after missing a good chunk of last year. So here is Tapani, who's out there with Rattray and Sophie Shirley. Chris Barr felt like it's too early in the season. We feel like we have a lot of combinations. We're just going to change it up and see what might stick. So third game, third totally different forward pairings for Boston early in the year. Pass across for Rattray, pulls it off the wall, tries to set her up, looking for a cutting Shirley. It just rolled off her stick, and Vancouver gets it out to center.
Good work already on the forecheck by Boston. A nice pinch by Keller. She's commanding on that that offensive blue line. And then Sophie Shirley, great positioning, was able to keep the puck in the zone, what led to a nice chance for the Fleet.
So Channel Watkins starts it forward. Hartmetz back to get it out there with Peshova, the defense pairing. And here is Abby Newhook. Scored her first career goal in the game against Toronto. Rookie from Boston College. Maschmeyer has to make a save on the side of the net. It's one of the themes for Boston that we talked about with general manager Danielle Marmer and Chris Barr. They keep talking about how impressed they've been with their rookies. Even going back to not even sure they were going to sign all of them. They end up all making the team, and they've all, at least of the skater group, have had major impacts even just 2 games into the season.
And that's so fun to see if you're a fan base. And anyone who's a young player dreaming of being in the PWHL, the attention to detail and how they committed themselves in the offseason is just impactful, as we're seeing.
Rattray with a couple of assists to start her season. That's turned over right on the blue line for Cava. Plays it in. Aaron Frankel twists it along for Huber. One of those Boston draft picks this year. Zoe Boyd with Cava putting some pressure on. That was nearly turned over. Here comes Kluga, who starts out with it. Samaskevich got a good hit in along the wall. Zoe Boyd tries to go through center. Bard was reaching for it, and it's icing whistled against Boston. Brian Nadolski also changing up his forward groups today, the head coach of Vancouver. I think he said, we just got to, don't have Nurse right now. Just got to get through the end of this road trip, get back home, and really get some practice under their belt. They've been on the road for so long. Practice can be sporadic, as you know.
And it's challenging because usually in practice is where you develop all those touches, that chemistry. And as we touched on in the open, they have offensive firepower, this team. They're very stacked. It's just a matter of finding roles, embracing your roles, figuring out your pairings, and where that chemistry is going to come from.
Here is Hubert trying to push it forward. Maschmeyer not going to mess around. So a couple of times we've seen Ella Huber, the second-round pick, 10th overall of Boston, the most recent draft.
Look at this heads-up pass. I love it from Zoe Boyd. As Huber, smart, she stretches the zone, cuts to the middle of the ice. That gives her some space on a very talented defender in Claire Thompson. And Huber, Coach Suarez mentioned, her speed just pops off the page when you're looking at her. And so she's someone to keep an eye on, especially if they keep doing these stretch passes like they've been able to do.
From the University of Minnesota, that comes out of the zone. Onisheva trying to put some pressure on, but a good play by Wynn to twist it back in. Thompson resets for the Goldeneyes. Pass a little too far for Hannah Miller. Keller Miller got a piece of the pass. Back the other way. Here is Saulnier. Moving into the offensive zone for Boston. Will play it in where Keller goes to get it. Takes it away from Sophie Jakes. Keller hits the trailers. Shirley's shot is blocked. Channel Watkins got it caught in her equipment. Turnover. Here is Rattray. Rattray, nice move! And couldn't get to the backhand. Everything but the shot there from Jamie Lee Rattray. Plays it down the wall, so more time at this end of the ice so far. Officially just one shot on goal for Boston. Shirley centers up, nice play by Miller. Always one of the best defensive forwards in the world. That
was an impressive stick because she had Jamie Lee Rattray coming in behind her, and that's one thing to keep aware of as you're watching from home and us in the building. When the puck is on the Boston Fleet stick, where are the defenders for Vancouver looking? Are their eyes fixated on the puck, or are they picking up those loose players? And that was a great look by Hannah Miller, playing defensively, aware that Rattray was in scoring position.
Little chance in front there, looking for Liz Sheppers. Couldn't quite connect on it. There is Alina Mueller. And for Boston, it's the Fleet reset on home ice. And Mueller gets it forward. Abby Newhook playing up with Mueller, trying to center a pass. That was a good play. Ashton Bell got her skate on it to break up that passing lane. Newhook goes to get it momentarily. Now here is Schafzel. Works it back for Hartmetz, who walks the line. Gives it back for Schafzel. And Hartmetz on a one-timer. Loose in front. Oh, what a great save. But it goes! The rebound finds its way through. And Boston leads. Give Abby Newhook another. The rookie makes it 1-0 Boston.
Boston forecheck has just been outstanding. Watch, this play develops by the tic-tac-toe passing between Hartmetz as she walks the line. Saulnier gives it back to her. There's an open space for her shot to get through. And look at the second and third effort by Newhook to get it. Sorry, that was a pass by Schafzel up top to Hartmetz. Just great job. Net front providing that screen, and by the point, sliding over, creating a shot opportunity, shot lane.
They did take a peek at it, as they do with all goals in the PWHL, but confirmed as a good goal. So how about the rookie Abby Newhook, who is a 5th-round pick of Boston in this most recent draft? We talked about it, for the rookies as a whole, but Chris Barr, Danielle Marmer, everybody talks about how she has just impressed so much, going from college just down the road at BC to what now she's done as a pro. She now has 2 goals on the young season. The Fleet once again have the lead. Really knocked down at center ice by Sheppers, who now spins and dumps it in deep. Vancouver back to get it. A former member of the Boston Fleet Bard. Couldn't quite get it out. Here is Saulnier. Plays a pass across. Huber's shot is stopped by Maschmeyer. So it's Abby Newhook with her 2nd goal of the year from Hartmetz and Schafzel at 5:02 of the first period. Here's Maloney from the outside and a tip. And Maschmeyer did not have it secured at first. Now jumps on top of it. Boy, a lot of traffic in front created by Boston. They have the first 5 shots on goal of this game and a goal to show for it, as the rookie Abby Newhook on her 3rd opportunity on a couple of rebounds gives Boston the early lead. Tries to play it up the wall, intercepted by Boreen, and let's see if Vancouver can push back a bit here. Trailing 1-0 as Venisheva is taken down by Wynn. Turns over though, and Channel Watkins had a chance at it. Kind of fanned on the one-timer, and Boston can come out momentarily with numbers. Tapani wide to the wall, working against Jakes. It's Tapani gives it back. Keller now plays it in behind with Shirley reaching for it. Channel Watkins again. Has to force it to the wide side. Good hit by Megan Keller to pin Venisheva into the boards. Ends up being icing. Katie Chan comes in for the face-off, won by Boston. Chan's on the outside, misses high. Good opportunity from Zoe Boyd. Shots right now, 7-0 in favor of Boston. And then the attempts, even more than that. Mueller walks in, fires, kick save by Bell. A couple of feet away from the goaltender, Maschmeyer. There's Brangman, another rookie, puts it down. Fleet had a nice start to game number 1 against Montreal. Remember, they scored that kind of odd goal early. Taffany, it ends up bouncing off a defender and going in. But against Toronto, it was the Scepters who had all the momentum early on in that game. Boston played behind the game a little bit that time. Toronto had the early lead. In fact, shots were 11-2 Toronto, and Toronto up 1-0 with 11 minutes to go in the second. Things obviously changed from there as the Fleet came back to win. Got a good opportunity there. Now it's Schaffsel back on it, working along the logo, and plays it down for Huber right in front, and a little tip play. Ends up just missing wide. That was Kluga who got a stick on it. Boston's been all over the net early in this game.
And just excellent in the neutral zone. A great step by Hartmutz, and a couple turnovers early on by Vancouver has not allowed them to skate with the puck into the offensive zone.
Here comes Wynn. Uses her speed to get down the wall, working against Thompson. And back to the point, Megan Keller fires from the outside. A save made by Maschmeyer. By the way, shots are what they are, 9-0 right now. Face-offs were 9-1 Boston before Vancouver just won that one. It's taken away deep in the offensive end. Saulnier tried to center up, got deflected up high, and Wynn is back to get it for Boston. Maloney and now Saulnier. He's been active early, and penalties coming up. So all that work in behind, and a holding penalty. Vancouver, who is already out there for a long time, and now cannot change, and going on the penalty kill.
Good work by Boston on the forecheck, and here's a look at the speed. So Maloney pitches on the right side, and Saulnier looking to drop a shoulder, cut in and go, but Miller's right arm impedes on that progress. That'll send her to the box, in the Fleet on a power play.
Boston 1 for 9 on their power play to start the year. They scored against Montreal, and Mueller can start up with it for Boston. Here is Wynn, and Boston on a Royale Tiger Towel power play. Power through tough messes. Little slap in front, and a kick save made on the chance from Mueller right in the bumper. Here is Wynn, who's getting first power play minutes along with Keller. Newhook out there for Keller, walks in, plays it across Mueller, and it's knocked away by Maschmeyer. So Mueller's gotten 2 chances at it. Newhook goes and retrieves. Here is Keller, finds Alina Mueller once more. Nice tip play out front by Gabby Rosenthal.
Great poise by Maschmeyer, staying in the net. It looked like a 4-on-3 coming at her, maybe even a 4-on-2, and just her ability to stay with the play, not panic, and move over and make a good save.
Vancouver is 3 for 4 on their penalty kill so far. Not a ton of penalties taken. Second group out there now for Boston. 45 seconds remaining on the penalty time. And a little bit of space for Rattray. Has help on the right side, plays to the trailer, save Maschmeyer, who pushes out against the rookie Huber. Maybe a short-handed chance for Jen Gardner coming center. Doesn't really have the help, so we'll move back to center ice and take some time off this penalty, which has 24 seconds remaining on it. There is Brandt. Floats a pass as Boston was changing. Bell got there first for Vancouver. 11 seconds remaining on the penalty. Katie Chan. Puts it down for Rosenthal. And that'll do it for the power play tie. So 3 shots on goal for Boston on their power play. Mueller had a couple of those. Good looks, generally speaking, for Boston. They continue to keep their foot on the gas right now in a 1-0 game. Maschmeyer secures it. The Fleet are all over the Goldeneyes early in this game. They have a 1-0 lead on the goal from the rookie, Abby Newhook. Look, right now as we welcome you back, shots are 14-0 Boston. Scoring chances are 8-0 Boston. Face-offs are 10-2 at last check. The Fleet have the 1-0 lead. So take me inside, right? Hasn't been the first 12 minutes that Vancouver was looking for, obviously, but it's still only one. And as long as it's only one, you got to feel like there's a reset available.
Oh, absolutely. One shot on net is all it takes to put the puck in. And so I think just to dial in on the physicality, like get yourself involved in the game. Use your legs, put your body on another body, and create a little havoc. And absolutely what Coach Adolski said, tape-to-tape passes. So much success can come from that.
Keller's pass went underneath the stick of Sheppers. Taken away, though. There's some of that physicality from Boston at play. Win, great move. Her shot hit her own teammate Huber, who then fires her own shot, and then nearly taken away by Kluga in the slot. Before it works back, and Megan Keller back to get it. The captain of the Fleet. New captain this year for Boston.
Look at Haley Wynn behind the net. Just about 10 seconds ago, we just saw an incredible head fake along the blue line. It was like Steph Curry breaking ankles. It was just incredible. Just another reason why Fleet fans are so thrilled to be able to have number 8 on their blue line.
Here is Shirley coming in. Pass was knocked down. And Gardner skates out for Vancouver. 7:17 remaining in this first period. A 1-0 lead for Boston. First ever meeting between the Fleet and the Goldeneyes. Tapany using the wall. Trey got a piece of it. Long time before Newhook digs it out. Nearly hit Schossel on the pass. Gets it back. Pachov's shot is kicked away by Maschmeyer. Looked there from the outside. That's what Boston was doing early. A lot of traffic in front. Tough save to make for Maschmeyer. But she has made 14 to her credit early on in this game. We have called number 19 a lot for Boston here in this first period. Abby Newhook, who has the goal. Goes to the bench now as the Fleet change. Trying to float something forward there, but it'll end up icing with 6:07 to go in the first period. There's Keller moving in, was almost still on it as the puck came through the slot. Keller back to get it off the wall. It's Saulnier walking down. Float pass forward, loose in front, Maschmeyer finds it with 5:51 remaining in the first.
I think Coach Adolski has mentioned it before. It's just a matter of doing the details in the D zone and supporting each other well. So when they have possession, are you getting into your breakout positions to help move the puck out?
There's Keller. That got tipped, and Maschmeyer still makes an excellent save. I mean, I know we've been talking about the Boston side of it, and deservedly so, but how good has Maschmeyer been here in this first period to make it only 1-0?
Absolutely. She made 3 point-blank, very highlight reel-worthy saves just on the power play alone.
Here is Saulnier coming in, got to her backhand, it slides across the crease. She lost her footing in the process. And Benisheva coming out for Vancouver. Still looking for their first shot on goal. Benisheva, it's there, and it's Frankel who makes the save on the backhand. Good effort by Teresa Benisheva. What a huge year she had for Ottawa last year. Huge jump in season number 2, 15 goals. Played her college hockey not too far from here at the University of Maine. Kluga leaves it. Chance for Huber, whose name we've called a lot in this first period for Boston. Out there with Kluga and Sheppers on this line for the Fleet. I'm not even sure you can really call it like a second line or a third line. Chris Barr's just changing everybody at this point.
Yeah, so early in the season, kind of can figure out who works well with who, where's the chemistry, where are players reading off each other really well.
That is turned over into the offensive end. Jakes firing, and a glove save by Aaron Frankel. Aaron Frankel, who has been so good early in the season for Boston. As that graphic that we showed you, just the one goal allowed all year. Gardner, tough angle, hit the side of the net. Shirley tied up with Katie Chan. Eventually the puck squirts free to the opposite side. Rentre got pinned down. Here is Tapani, couldn't get it out. Jakes keeps it in for Vancouver. Gardner tries to center up, hit a skate somewhere now. Jakes fires and missed wide. Up on the line, Channel Watkins. And Shirley does a decent job to force it out to center. 3:35 remaining in the first period. Boston has a 1-0 lead. Turned over to Rentre. Rentre 1-on-3 back. Just swiped it a backhand. Ends up behind the net. Couldn't hold the line. Boston has to tag up. Allows Karvinen. Lost her footing on it. Here is Seghetti. And Seghetti cannot get by Wynn. It's not just the offense with Wynn, right? It's plays like that as well. Here's Abby Newhook. Flips it into the corner. Plays it around the wall. Karvinen trying to get it out. Samaskevich. Saulnier. Samaskevich steps out. Got in her skates for a moment. Forward battle. Bell tries to dig it out. Long shift here defensively for Vancouver. Shot from the outside and a tip from Saulnier in front. Boyd's the one who took the shot. Ends up knocking down wide. Bregman comes right back in. That hit his skate. Ashmeyer, her stick, couldn't secure it. Saulnier loses her footing behind the net. Anna Miller on it now for Vancouver. And Venisheva comes across center ice. Venisheva goes wide, trying to create something in front. Still on it, centering pass for Darcy Lappin, got knocked off.
Strong play by Ella Huber in the D zone as Venisheva was coming around on her forehand, trying to find a trailer, but Huber wasn't cool.
And Huber just drew another penalty. So Boston to the power play for the second time tonight with 1:32 remaining in a, frankly, dominant first period.
Playing very well. They're very connected.
Vancouver number 26, minor penalty for tripping.
As we listen and hear what the ref just called, but I mean, Fleet have been excellent so far in how they move the puck, how they forecheck. And here's a look at that penalty. As you see, McQuaig's stick gets caught under Huber's skate, leading to the tripping call that was just made.
Folks, support your team in the entire women's game with Bauer PWHL jerseys and apparel. Available on Bauer.com and at participating retail stores. And another Royale Tiger towel power play for Boston. They had 3 shots on their opening opportunity. 2 of those came from Mueller, who had it for the moment and gets it right back here. Mueller for Tapani. Tough angle shot got deflected. Comes to the near wall where Wynn plays it up top for Megan Keller. Now it's Tapani. Her pass hit a stick. Now it's Wynn. Thought about the slap shot, instead peeling away from Lappin. Keller has a power play goal already, using the wall. Ends up with the former member of the Fleet, Sydney Bard, who clears.
Good decision by Wynn not to force the puck into a bunch of bodies, net front. Moved it up top to Keller, who's able to shoot. Just missed the net on that, but I like the traffic that Newcock has in front.
There is Tapani, was looking to go back for Wynn. Gardner had it on her stick, and she clears with 33 seconds remaining in the period. There is Shirley, second group out there for Boston. Just 17 seconds remaining in the frame, and a good penalty kill here for Vancouver. one more final look, but Miller comes over and quite literally takes Huber's stick away. And ends period number one. But what a period for the Boston Fleet. So 25 seconds of power play time here for Boston. Vancouver did a pretty good job on that beginning of this kill right at the end of the period, but let's see what Boston does here to set up with it. They'll play it down low for Newhook. Couldn't quite connect on it. Maureen does indeed get it out. It's worth noting, how about Newhook getting first power play minutes just from what she's done in these couple of games?
Right, and I like what they did on the faceoff. She's a right-hander, so they put Tapani and Wynn up there on the left side, thinking that she's going to slap the puck to the forehand on the left. And it didn't quite work out, but I like the idea and the thought behind it.
So Vancouver kills off that penalty. And we'll see if that can be a momentum swinger. But the first shot after we say that is Saulnier from the outside. And it's stopped by Maschmeyer, who was certainly good and had to be in that first period for the Goldeneyes. Here is Gardner, tries to center up, looking for Rosenthal. It's swept to the wall by Boston. They're able to get it back to center. Fleet try to continue off their 2-0 start to the season. Vancouver still looking for their first ever road win as they wrap up this 3-game road trip. Ottawa, New York, and now here in Boston. Wynn couldn't connect on the pass there. This will be icing. The one who comes away with it for the Fleet. 2 minutes into this second period. Boston has the 1-0 lead on the goal by Newhook. At 5:02 into the first period. Cava with Boyd quickly going over to get it. And that is whistled down for offside. Boston was pretty good early in that period on the faceoffs. It balanced out a little bit as the period went on. Bregman plays it off the wall, ends up getting to Huber, and now it's Kluge in. Quite connect on it. And it squirts loose. Maschmeyer gets a stick on it. Here is Mueller just off the bench for the Fleet. Now Pesheva plays it across, looking for Hartmetz to come down the wall. Kluge against Thompson in behind. Mueller, point at the moment with Hartmetz going in deep. The battle here, Szigeti. Huber lost her footing on it. Schopsel in there as well for Boston, and now it's Thompson. Eventually digs it out for the Goldeneyes.
Great pinch by Pesheva to keep the puck in the zone.
And another save by Emmerich Maschmeyer. Keller plays it off the wall, actually bounced exactly how she wanted it to. Now Shirley coming in, putting some pressure on. Rattray got a piece here, Shirley. Could not get around Jakes. Tied up. Defensive work there by Sophie Jakes. And Miller plays it forward on a backhand. 4 minutes into the second, less high events at least early on in this period. And that deflects out into the Vancouver bench. When they had a similar looking first period in terms of the shot numbers, it was 11-2 halfway through the second period. And he said, you know, when you look and your goalie's playing that well, all of a sudden you see it's only one, you can really turn the momentum quickly. And that's the position his team's opponent tonight is in with Vancouver. This squirts up high though for Bregman. That got caught. There's been a lot of traffic on some of those shots from the outside. Bregman could not get that through. one a little bit too far. Icing waved off though. Spragman back to get a touch. Opportunity here for Katie Chan to go get there first. Gardner was looking to center up. Now Lappin comes over to play it. Chance for Thompson. Hits Lappin, turning around the face-off dot. And that got deflected to the near wall for Brandt to pick it up for Boston. Goldeneyes trying to get back to their game. Trailing 1-0. Marcy Lappin brings it across. Izzy Daniel. Lappin there. Peshova got a little hit in. There's a stick check by Frankel. A little miscommunication on the pass. Barred there. And Izzy Daniel ends up coming out to center.
Seen some, this is the first time really in the game some sustained offensive zone presence by the Goldeneyes.
Here comes Jakes, takes it away. Jakes going right to the net. That was blocked. Peshova on the one to get in the way for Boston. That comes loose right in front. And another save by Maschmeyer on Hartmetz. Boards have been lively tonight.
Absolutely. We saw it earlier with Keller. As you mentioned, I think she was just trying to rip it off the far boards in order to pop it out to her line or her teammates.
Impressive skating there, and then it's forward for Huber in front of the Fleet bench. And they will whistle this down. 13:42 to go in the second. Yeah, that is so exciting. We're really excited for that announcement. On April 11th, that'll be following a Bruins game in the afternoon, so it should be a lot of fun. Here's Keller moving in, was looking back for it, and that could have been a pretty good setup right there. Pass just a little bit behind her.
Yeah, you hear the collective "oh" by the fans in the stands as you could see that play develop.
They are fun to watch. Rattray reaching for it. So one of the questions we were wondering early in the season, would you put them together? Would you break them up as Chris Spar tries to figure out what he has with this still, somewhat new defensive core for Boston? Really just two main contributors back. But he said they're so good. We're putting them together. They've been together on the power play. They've been playing penalty kill minutes as well. That's turned over. Here's Gardner, a chance, and a save by Frankel. Best opportunity for Vancouver. Then Bell from the outside, and Frankel gets a chance to show off a bit. Goldeneyes starting to find their game. Katie Chan down low. Gardner centers up for Rosenthal. Never really had it on her forehand. Kind of just was spearing it forward. And then the pass was behind Samoskevich.
Yeah, usually the best two looks right so far for the Vancouver Goldeneyes. Quick plays, catching the Boston Fleet a little just out of position in their offensive zone.
Frankel taps it along. Quick stick there for Izzy Daniel. And it's right back to Boston. Sonia ends up winning a race and got pinned into the boards. Vancouver has had a nice physical second period. Peshova from the outside, blocker down by Maschmeyer. And the skate of Daniel has a chance to spring Vancouver. Daniel couldn't quite find it. Ends up being turned over though. Here's Sophie Jakes. Scored a goal against New York, the lone Vancouver goal of that game on Saturday, down at the Prudential Center in Newark. Quick. Channel Watkins lost her footing, still managed to do enough to get the puck going here. So the shot numbers haven't quite caught up yet, Gigi, but the eye test certainly showing you Vancouver is very much back in this game. Karvinen from the outside sits loose in front, and Kava trying to spin one, and Frankel stays in a good spot. Ends up all the way out for Sydney Bard. Her shot got knocked down. Peshova couldn't clear. Thompson fires, hit her own teammate Kava. And then it's finally slapped down, and Boston will just ice the puck. Boston ice here, they do get it out. That will not cross the line, so the Fleet do get an opportunity to change. Vancouver's going to try to beat him back. Maureen plays it forward for Miller. Megan Keller got in a good spot for Boston. The Shepherds for Keller. Played it across, then tried to hack it out of the air after Samaskevich dives down onto the ice and breaks it up. Semi-homecoming for Samaskevich, who's a native of Connecticut, so got to play in New York and now here in Boston. And it's centered up. Couldn't connect on it. It's back for Boyd, just coming onto the ice for Boston. Over the halfway mark of the hockey game. The Fleet still up 1-0 on that early goal by Abby Newhook. There's Alina Mueller. Samaskevich putting some pressure on. Here is Boyd. Fires hit. Samaskevich ends up falling right for Mueller, and then her pass was broken up by Gardner, who's been very active so far today. Gardner playing for her hometown team after the last couple of years with Montreal. Signed during that exclusive signing window for Vancouver, one of the early staples of this expansion Goldeneyes roster. There's Rosenthal working against Peshavo, got a good hit in. To center for Thompson. 8:33 remaining in the second. Thompson nearly lost her balance on it. Still manages to play it indeed for Izzy Daniel. Back on it, was looking for Rattray. It was broken up well by Bard. Here's Darcy Lappin using some speed. Centers up, great chance. Stopped by Frankel, who denies Izzy Daniel on a point-blank chance.
Vancouver looking to get on the board with this great drive as Lappin moves it over. But watch. Aaron Frankel pushes over, extends the leg, and keeps the puck out of the net. Vancouver has done a good job packing in the middle. If Boston can stretch them out and find more lanes like they did on the goal that they scored, I think they'll just find more success.
There is a whistle for icing. So obviously things have flipped here a little bit. 4-0 in scoring chances for Vancouver here in the second period. What is it that they're doing better here in the second that we didn't see as much of in the first?
They're anticipating a little bit more in the neutral zone and connecting on some passes, but also on the flip of that, I mean, Boston hasn't been as good with the puck coming across the neutral zone and have kind of mishandled the puck a few times, which plays into Vancouver's hands.
Stockton at center ice for the moment. Tied up with Shirley. We've seen a bunch of board battles here in the second. Comes free to Rattray. Nice pass for Wynn. Gets around Cavan. Wynn's shot is blocked. That's exactly what you're talking about, right? As good a play as that is, there's nowhere to get that puck through. And now here's Karvinen. Karvinen trying to get behind. Karvinen on a backhand is stopped by Frankel. Well, he had one too many green sweaters with her and could only put that backhand on. Szigeti plays it across channel. Watkins looking across for Jakes. Another save by Frankel. She got over so quickly on that opportunity. Szigeti, nice move. Szigeti centers. Jakes is gloved down by Frankel. Oh! Is there anyone playing goalie in the world better than Erin Frankel right now?
She is on fire. And there's a look at Sophie Jakes, who has had 2 of the opportunities. Look at this. Whoop! Just through the legs pass over to Jakes. Just a gorgeous look by Szigeti. And another look at it. Here's Jakes coming down the slot. Prime spot if you want the puck on your stick to get a goal. And she has a great wrist shot. She scored, as you mentioned, in New York, her first of the season. But again, Erin Frankel, such an athlete, so competitive. You see her, she's not just sitting in the crease, she's out challenging and knows how, like, she can really read the play develop.
Frankel, who's allowed a grand total of 1 goal so far to start this season. Shutout against Montreal in the opener, then allowed a goal on the first shot of the game by Toronto, stopped the final 24 shots of that game. Boston's 2-0 start. Hasn't had to have nearly the work as her counterpart Mashmeyer on the other side, but has stopped all 7 so far. Many of those here in the second. Saulnier across looking for a tip. Mashmeyer got there first. Stays in play, finds Venisheva. Pass was a little behind Boreen, then Bard, the trailer, is gloved down again by Frankel.
Coming across the zone, there's the slash, and entering the zone, Venisheva moves it over. Boreen between the legs to a trailing Sid Bard, who's coming in, who's all too familiar with Frankel being on her team last year. Trying to sneak one past her.
Bell from the outside is blocked clean by Schopsel and knocks it to center ice. It's a nice moment early in the game for Sydney Bard and Emma Greco, both former members of the Fleet, returning today with Vancouver. Here is Schopsel. As Boston trying to break out, turn the momentum back their way a bit. Still up 1-0. Their shot attempts were the story of the first period. Frankel the story here in period number 2. But Vancouver pushing back and trying to find their game on this, the 3rd game of their road trip before they're finally back home on Saturday against New York. Frankel secures it. 5:27 to go in the second period as Frankel keeps that puck underneath her glove. You know, you sound like a broken record at some point. Obviously, you know, everybody knows who's followed women's hockey how good Erin Frankel is, but it just feels like there's even another level she's playing at to start this season.
Right, and think about this. 2 shots only faced in the first period. Like, imagine playing 20 minutes in your own end and not seeing much action except for 2 shots, and to come out on fire and be prepared and ready and not, like, just zone out. It's incredible, her mental resilience between the pipes when most of the play, to be honest, has been in like 100 feet away from her.
Well, Vancouver has changed that here in this second period. More chances in front of Frankel, thanks to their goaltender, Emma Mashmeyer, doing enough to give them a chance. Still only down 1. Daniel plays it across. Was behind the cutter on the pass. Huber plays it out, but it's Jakes who keeps it in. Play it right back into the corner, where Cava comes out for Vancouver. Karvinen steps down the wall. Ends up out here with Thompson. Off the wall for Karvinen, and now Bard kind of fanned on the shot. Boston can break out. Might have numbers momentarily, though, near the end of a shift. Nice little move there, and a shot is kicked away by Mashmeyer. Sophie Shirley. Tapani and Rattray. Shirley comes out now as Boston completes their change. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Vancouver with 8 scoring chances here in this second period. Over just 3 for Boston. Shots on goal still 26-9 in favor of the Fleet. The ice has certainly flipped a bit. Keller whacks a pass across, comes out of the zone. Saulnier reaching forward against Hannah Miller. She's had a good game defensively. Taken away by Brandt. Her pass got knocked in the air, and Keller knocks it down. Pinned in by 2 Goldeneyes. Saulnier picks it off the wall. Jill Saulnier, nice move. Saulnier on goal, and a save by Mashmeyer. Does a really good job of securing the rebound as well. Huber kicks it along. Somebody lost a stick. Maybe a stick from the bench that came out with a little scrum right in front of the Boston bench. Under a minute to go here in the second period. Miller had it momentarily, but here is Huber. 4 shots to lead Boston in the first period tonight. Stretch pass will be icing. Keller fires with a tip in front just from Brandt like you're talking about. And Mashmeyer was in a good spot. Keller keeps it in. Brandt centering. Comes free. Saulnier just missed high. What a chance that became out of nowhere. And again, that's all off the face-off win.
Face-off, exactly. And you think right before that, Hannah Brandt got hit by Samoskevich, and you know that lit a fire under anyone who experiences that. And so for her to come out next shift and dominate the way she did, awesome response.
So Boston, a little bit of pressure late in the period. And the Fleet will take a 1-0 lead to the third. The goal that Frankel allowed against Toronto was their first shot of the game. And Frankel kept them off the board since then, so she's got really 2 shutout streaks, right? Had a shutout in the opener, and has not allowed one today. 24 straight saves to end that game against Toronto, and the 3-1 victory for Boston. Part of why they are 2-0 to start the season. Good work by Vanisheva to get in behind Wynn. Try to create something here. Boreen centers up. Nobody in there on it, though, and it's Brandt. We'll start it out for Abby Newhook for the Boston Fleet, up 1-0 on the Vancouver Goldeneyes as we hit the third period here at Aganis. Vancouver more hits, especially in that second period. Here's Boyd walking in, blocked shot by Jakes. Good job to step up on that. Mueller plays it back for Abby Newhook, walking in. Newhook, a blocker save by Mashmeyer. Boyd thought about waiting. Instead steps down. Newhook again, looking for a tip in front. Couldn't quite connect on it. This line has been good to start the third period. Mueller plays it in. Schopsel off the wall. Comes free again. Newhook creating. Here's Mueller walking down. It spins away from Hannah Miller. Now it's Newhook. Open again in the slot for a moment. It ends up coming out to center.
And the puck just bounced over Rattray's stick. She was in prime. You see her tilt her head back as she's skating around. That was such a good play. Good offensive zone position by the Boston Fleet as they were able to move. Again, though, kind of perimeter for the most part. So we'll have to see if they're able to put in the game plan that Coach Spar had told Natalie of, hey, we got to get bodies to the net, pucks to the net.
And you mentioned that's what Vancouver's doing a nice job of. Clogging the middle, not allowing Boston to get in there the way they maybe had some of those opportunities in that first period. Here's a centering pass. Good chance by Rosenthal is blocked. And Boston can break out 3-on-2, maybe 4-on-2. Rattray had to wait to get onside. Now here is Hartmetz behind for Tapani. Who plays it around for Shirley. Shirley spins it back in. Tapani once more was pushed off. And here is Rosenthal. Starts it out for Vancouver. Well, here's Wynn into the offensive zone. Dug out for Megan Keller. Her shot deflected. And that will hit the netting out of play. Again, one of the important pieces is Shepers is thrown out here for Huber. Finding a way to win some faceoffs for Vancouver. It's all these little things that, you know, we talked about with Brian Adolski before the game. Just not chasing the game like you talked about. The shot numbers, the score numbers, the faceoff numbers, all of it. They win a faceoff here and can bring it right into the zone. Cava hits Carvinen up top, and Frankel secures it.
Claire Thompson was able to do, off that face-off win, just navigated the D zone so well. She's such a good skater, very athletic, and her ability to move the puck through the neutral zone from her own zone into the offensive zone and create a chance. Albeit it was on the edge of the blue line shot, so Frankel had a clear save, but that's what you love to see in a defender for a team that you're cheering for, the ability to skate the puck out of pressure into the offensive zone.
Here is Maloney coming down the wall. Plays it around for Saulnier. He's looking for Thompson. Got a piece of it for Vancouver. And Szigeti will dump it in. Vancouver will change. Wade spears it down. There is Vanisheva. Vanisheva's had some moments and some pretty good pressure. Kind of finished with some shooting lanes on goal. That's been some of the story for Vancouver today. Trying to generate those opportunities. Down still only one as we play here in the third period. Mueller tried to center up underneath Schopsel. Keller, though, is the one to get to it. Or Vanisheva comes away for Vancouver. So it'll be Jakes now. Jakes who plays it around the wall for Gardner stepping in. Gardner cycling. Jen Gardner turns a shot, got deflected to the wall. Rosenthal putting pressure on in front. That squirted free, Samoskevich, good work. Rosenthal right to the net and a save by Frankel. Then the follow-up chance is blocked clean by Schopsel. Good shift here for the Goldeneyes. That's turned over. It's Bell walking in. Schopsel got to a knee, so there was no shooting lane, and that one missed high. Bell comes around to get it again for Vancouver. Bell working down underneath the goal line. Long shift here defensively for Boston now. Can Vancouver take advantage? Right to the net. Couple of saves by Frankel on a few hacks from Rosenthal. Samoskevich plays it back in for McQuigg. Boston was able to change two skaters for the moment. Shirley couldn't get it out beyond Thompson. Thompson now plays it backhand. Oh, just goes underneath the stick there of Izzy Daniel. Now finally Boston could bring it out with Rattray, but is pushed off, and here goes Vancouver. It's lapping in the offensive zone, has Daniel in front. Couldn't get the pass all the way through to her.
Great work in the neutral zone by Vancouver D, stepping up, putting up pressure, causing the turnover.
Jakes does it again. Now Karvinen couldn't get anything on it. Just had a little bit towards goal. And Frankel makes the save.
Good pressure by Vancouver in the offensive zone. Notice at the middle of your screen, on her knees, Samoskevich, backhand pass to her teammate who's able to attack, and then a block net front by Schopsel. And here's Jakes coming in, moves it to Karvinen, but Frankel sees that the whole way and is able to save for a stoppage of play.
Maybe if she had just a touch more space, could have gotten a little bit more on that shot. Boston does a good job closing down. Fleet still holding on to this lead. Certainly absorbing more pressure in the second half of this game. Jakes comes down the wall for Karvinen. Now it's Jakes, centers up, Szigeti, shot is knocked down by Frankel. Karvinen trying to dig it out, Szigeti works it onto the blue line. Pressure here, and Saulnier takes it away. Saulnier, it scores! First goal of the year for Jill Saulnier, and Boston finally has that second goal.
Jill Saulnier, watch the extra effort as the puck kind of bobbles over Jake's stick, but watch how she protects her body from Jake's stick. She drops her right shoulder. She's a lefty, so she brings it to her inside. Here's a good look at it. Brings it to her inside, protects the puck from any back check pressure, and is able to fire it past Mashmeyer. Just a good job with her, even her edge work, her ability to put her left hip out to protect the puck and get it to her backhand for a nice little finish. Beautiful goal.
Just enough speed to get in behind a couple of Vancouver defenders. And Jill Saulnier with that big second goal that it felt like Boston had been looking for all night long. Obviously, it wasn't a shorthanded goal, but it almost felt like that because of the pressure that Vancouver had there. Down by one, trying to get back in, and all of a sudden, what feels like somewhat of a backbreaker now, having to come back down two. Tries to spear it down. Venisheva does good work, and Miller digs it out. Maureen now just has to play it in. How difficult a challenge is it for Vancouver? They need at least two. Boston still has only allowed one goal all year. And this game number 3. Underneath the stick of Gardner, and then she got a piece of it, allows Rosenthal to come back in. Gardner was looking wide on the pass for Chan. Now Thompson comes in, plays the backhand, but it's whistled down. With 12:10 to go in the third, Vancouver slowly but surely pushing back, but all of a sudden a little bit of ice opens up. Saulnier, a fluttering puck, gets it by Mashmeyer. 2-0 Fleets. So the Boston goals separated by nearly 42 minutes of game time. And they have the 2-0 lead. Frankel secures it there. It's got to be such a challenge, right? Because, you know, as we were starting to talk about, it felt like Vancouver had done the work to try to flip the ice a little bit. And they had a couple of good shifts here early in the third period, but it was off of one of those that Saulnier is able to get in on the other end.
Right, just a bobble at the blue line, goes the other way and is in the back of the net. And so again, just a couple challenges with the puck. As we saw in the first period, Vancouver wasn't able to connect on passes, and Mashmeyer has done an excellent job keeping them in this game. And so again, there's still time. Vancouver scores goals in the ends of games, and so I'm still like, wow, we're going to see another push from Vancouver, and how is Boston going to be able to handle that?
That goes back to the whole notion of having to play behind the game, having to play catch up, and not being able to afford those tiny little mistakes. Ends up making this a 2-goal deficit. And tries to dig it off the wall for Boston. Here is Maloney. Simply behind the net against Darcy Lappin. Maloney plays it in the backhand for Brandt. Centers up. Keller was reaching for it. Good play by Lappin. Got back in position for Vancouver. Here's McQuigg. Centers up. Daniel spins. Hits Jakes. Trying to get it across for Lappin. It's broken up, and a diving play by Saulnier. Got Hannah Brandt forward.
Love the extra effort. And again, we talked about Haley Wynn on her belly making a backhand pass to her partner, Megan Keller. Same with Saulnier. On her belly, makes a backhand pass to Hannah Brandt in order to enter the zone. Just great high-level plays.
Even towards the end of the shift, diving down, still making the effort to give opportunity for her team early in the season. Good hit by Kluga, nearly sprung McKinnon. Ryland McKinnon listed as the extra defender today for Boston. Things starting to boil over as we go deeper into this third period, with Boston up by 2.
Last 10 minutes of this period, down 2 goals. It's kind of a scan of the bench, and you just want to see for Vancouver, like, who's dialed in, who's going to be that leader. So it's a new team. There's a lot of chemistry still needing to happen, and a lot of leaders from past teams jumble or mesh together on this group. So it'll be interesting to see, because there's always a voice or two that steps up in those moments to be able to say, hey, let's do this, we can do it, and dial in, and whatever the key focus that they are looking for to be able to bounce back into this game.
Yeah, that was a point that Brian Adolski has made a couple of times. The number of players who have worn letters in their careers on this Vancouver team. But as you talk about, every team is different. Every leadership group is different. So who's the person talking in a moment like this on the bench? All that stuff has to be built, right? You can't just point and decide it's going to be you. It has to grow organically. And it only is experience in moments like this that brings that stuff out.
100%. And that's exactly what he talked about. Also, experience. Yeah. You can't just manufacture this. You have to live through it as a team.
Keller, a tip in front, missed off the opposite side. And then Maschmeyer secures it. What a nifty little chance that was for a Boston team. Up by 2, pushing for more as they try to get to 3-0. There's been a Boston team that scored in the first, scored in the third. A lot of opportunities in between. This is nearly one from Rattray, which got deflected to the wall. And who else but Wynn comes down and collects for Boston. Some pressure from Channel Watkins. Couldn't quite get it out, though, as Megan Keller holds her spot. And the Boston Fleet trying to go to 3-0 to start this season. Rattray putting some good pressure on. So there's obviously a lot of hockey left to go, but 8:54 to go here, game following us, but you could have a situation where the two teams that did not qualify for the playoffs last year could be alone on top of the PWHL standings after tonight.
It's kind of exciting to think about. I mean, just the parity in this league and the excellent players that have joined this league. When you think about how you touched on New York and how they built through the draft this past summer.
Couldn't get it past. He's back to get it again. And that is whistled out of play, and a big hit right after the puck ends up going into the Boston bench. Only natural that a game starts to get a little more physical as we get deeper into it.
Here's that look. It's again Hannah Brandt and Izzy. This time it's Izzy Daniel coming in and laying the hit on Hannah Brandt. Again, no call there.
Mentioned the first of 2 games today, Boston and Vancouver right here, and then coming up 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, New York and Seattle. Check your local listings. What an unbelievable crowd it was at Climate Pledge Arena the other day. Over 16,000. Set a new attendance record for a women's hockey game in the United States. It's been so much fun to see those big crowds early in the year. The new teams, Seattle and Vancouver. Great game that was. The Torrent and the Goldeneyes going to kick off the season a couple of weeks ago now. Vancouver will certainly be excited to get back home after this game. They'll have a long stretch of games at home, and the biggest thing that Brian Adolski mentioned is first we watch Hubert come in. Hubert plays it, saved by Maschmeyer. Had help on the opposite side, elects to take the shot. Maschmeyer has to make a good save. Karvinen got it through to Kava. Works back, Boyd from the outside is gloved down by Aaron Frankel.
We've touched on the speed of Ella Huber, and we'll get to see this. Watch this self-pass she makes off the wall to jump around Claire Thompson and cut in with her head up. Doesn't see an option coming in to pass, so she does a good, smart decision. Puts the puck on net.
The point I was going to make was, obviously it's important to have home games, but it's the practice time I think that Brian Adolski is really looking forward to for his group to settle into a little bit of a routine there with a lot of time here on the road. Newhook in front for Mueller, broken up by Jakes. That's a great play by Sophie Jakes to break up what was a good-looking 2-on-1 for Boston. Mueller's got it again for the rookie Abby Newhook. Scored the first goal today for Boston. And keeps it in with 7 minutes to go in the third. The Fleet leading by the same margin they won their home opener against Montreal, 2-0. Tapani comes in, keeps that below the goal line. Now Watkins couldn't get it out. Keller for Tapani. Cycles, and her shot got knocked down. Jakes lost her footing right in front. Now here's Wynn, another great move. Wynn coming through, and it just missed. A couple of times with the knee-knocking moves from Wynn on the blue line. Hartmetz plays it across. Wynn is still out there. That got knocked down up high by Boreen. All this time, though, valuable for Boston in their offensive end, as it's valuable time away from Vancouver's comeback attempts. Hartmetz. Manisheva got a piece of that one for the Goldeneyes. Couldn't get it beyond Hartmetz for the moment. Vancouver, it was a long shift. Didn't quite get off clean. There is Samaskevich. That's whistled down for offside. 5:43 remaining in the third.
We talked with Sophie this past week, and she says, you know, it can be challenging starting from square one with a new team, but her D partner is exactly who she'd want it to be because she's paired with Melissa Channel-Watkins, who was her partner for the Minnesota Frost last season. They've won a few Walter Cup championships together. She just says there's familiarity. It gives her confidence, and that's got to be beneficial, right?
Absolutely. It's so key coming into a new team, new culture. And having someone who's familiar, you understand their style of play, you can trust them right off the bat. It creates just a really good environment to play in.
It is really amazing how obviously there's the connections of people who have literally played together on some of these teams, but especially the women's hockey world is such a small world that there's so much familiarity with these players, even if you've never been on a team with them. Now all of a sudden you are. It's been funny to, prep for these games and look at how many people played for Brian Adolski somewhere in the world over the last 15 years or whatever the case may be. So, it is kind of amazing, the connections, and that has to help so much with these teams who have so many new faces this year.
It does, absolutely, and it's definitely a challenge for Vancouver and Seattle.
There's Boyd. Oh, boy, that got tipped. Frankel lost her footing, and it still managed to slide harmlessly to the wall. Luka will start it out. So this is really the first moment here. Boston did a really nice job having some zone time as they try to protect this 2-0 lead. See if Vancouver can get some possession. You mentioned their third period scoring this year.
And you see how, like, almost neutral zone trap-ish Boston Fleet is playing. Just kind of wanting to take away the middle of the ice, be suffocating defensively, and really get the puck out.
Nice pass to Schoffsel, even better one to Newhook. Channel-Watkins reaching forward for Vancouver. Boyd keeps it in for Boston. For the first period, Boston just the one goal, but it was 19-2 in shots. Bregman stays onside for the moment before that's forced all the way down. That will be icing. 3:14 to go in the third.
So a lot of traffic. Vancouver puts in front on Frankel, and look at all that puck pinballs, and Frankel is able to make a save. It looks like it went off one stick, Keller's stick in front as well, and then moves to the left of Frankel. It's just incredible what she's been able to do, and it's not easy as a goaltender, I would imagine. I mean, I only played one period between the pipes, and that was when I was teeny tiny, and they're like, don't ever go back there. Like, it's impressive to me how they can peer around so much traffic and lean over while also tracking the puck into where they're assuming it's going to be and make that play. Like, it's just impressive.
I allowed 10 in 2 games. I imagine yours was better. Here's Keller for Wynn. This little move to work down. I mean, even the nothing plays from Wynn. She's got shifty little moves. Makes everything interesting. Keller, one-timer. Mashmeyer does a really good job to find that puck with bodies right in front of her. That was Rattray putting on the screen. And again, it's Boston with possession right now. And Vancouver unable to even think about getting their goaltender out at this point. Mashmeyer looking to the bench for the moment. Adolski calls her home. Miller's shot is stopped by Frankel. Follow-up chance, top angle. And another save made by Frankel. Net empty for Vancouver with 2:22 to go. And Boston leading 2-0 in a race for the puck. Maloney gets back ahead of Carbonet. Centers up. The trailer is Brandt. That's deflected wide. 3 Fleet jerseys back. Still an empty net here, which is guarded for the moment by Carbonet, who can finally skate out under 2 minutes to go.
Oh, I would pressure if I was Boston. They're changing. You don't have to sit back and wait. You can go ahead and attack because you have numbers.
Vancouver does change. Benisheva brings it in for the Goldeneyes. 1:39 to go. Here's Jakes. Out for Channel Watkins. Got another shot at it. A little bit of space comes in. Shot missed wide. Slapped at and cleared. Brangman got the stick on it for Boston. 80 seconds to go. Benisheva keeps it in for the moment. Maureen now, and time running down on Vancouver, needing 2. Benisheva walks the line. Bell comes back. Gardner slap pass across. Frankel makes another save. Jakes had a look down low. Now a chance. Boreen was right in front. Boston does a good job to get a stick on it, prevent it from getting all the way in. Boreen knocked down by Zoe Boyd. And the Fleet again get it out of their zone. 38 seconds remaining in the third. A 2-0 lead for Boston. They're stopped by Frankel on a shot from the outside. Now Wynn for Kluga. Out to center one more time. Just 22 seconds remaining. Hitting it's Keller and Wynn out there for Boston. Thompson from a tough angle. That got deflected. Now Cava reaching back. It's broken up again. And Keller gets it down. And the Boston Fleet, first to 9 points. They're 3-0. And no surprise, Aaron Frankel is our performer of the game, which is presented by Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the PWHL. Her 4th career shutout, her 2nd in the first 3 games of this season. Thanks for joining us, folks, tonight from McGannis. Again, your final score, Boston 2 and Vancouver 0. Remember, coming up at 10 o'clock, New York and Seattle. Check your local listings for that. For Gigi Marvin, Natalie Norrie, our producer, Casey Carter, director Tim DeRoyan, and our entire crew, Eric Galanti saying so long from McGannis. The Boston Fleets are 3-0.